Rituals are anything that you connect with and that you do on a repetitive basis. And traditionally, they're more ceremonious. A lot of times we talk about rituals with religion, and I have a cultural anthropology background, so to me, a ritual is something that is part of your culture, and of course, religion often is a part of your culture. But today I'm going to be talking more about rituals from a spiritual perspective. And I'm going to be reading from this book. It is Women of Spirit Share Rituals Divine. And before I do, I want to talk about just my experience with rituals. And again, maybe it's because of my cultural anthropology background, but I have always loved being immersed in rituals, even if they are not of my religion or of my culture. So whenever I travel, I really I enjoy going into um, other houses of worship and sharing with the traditions that they do there. Some of the most deepest meditations that I have ever done in my life, and I've meditated since I was a teen. And without a doubt, the deepest meditations I've ever experienced were when I was in mosques in Turkey. And I was not necessarily praying as the locals were praying, but I did my own type of meditation, wearing the shawls and, of course, sitting on the rugs in the women's section and hearing the sounds of everything. It was just incredible, and I did that every day pretty much when I was in Turkey. This book is really interesting because it was the idea of a cultural anthropologist, and the editor selected 40 women from around the world of all diverse cultures and religious and spiritual backgrounds to share what their rituals are. So I'm just going to read a few passages just to give you an idea of what rituals can mean to some people. This one is from Patricia Moore Herber. I'm not always on my A game, and often I fall off the hobby horse, so to speak. When I was a child, I received a bicycle for Christmas. During my first ride, I fell off and lay there crying. My grandmother told me when you fall off, you get up and get right back on again. Of course, I thought she was telling me to get on my bicycle. I didn't realize that in her usual wise way, she was teaching me a life lesson. I make mistakes, forget my purpose, suffer, whine, and remember again as I walk through life. The question is, what does it take for me to get back on my hobby horse? My life again and again and again and again. All my life, I've been inspired by special experiences and powerful places, learned from others, been enlightened through spiritual awareness and study, and used ancient rituals and practices. I discovered these are tools I use to lift, to support, and to give me strength to get back on my hobby horse again and again. Specific rituals such as spending time in nature, journaling, photography, chanting, meditating, writing poetry, and praying, when used as a practice, have at various times brought me deep within to listen and to hear the voice of spirit. A ritual does not have to be a prayer or a specific verse. There are so many ways to do it, and that's why I enjoyed what she talked about. So I'm going to read a little bit more, and this is from a woman who is from Burkina Faso, and her name is, of course I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly, Sobanfu Somé. And so she talks about being raised in Africa and then moving to the United States and a little bit of the culture shock, which I can definitely relate to. I was born in the United States, but I have spent a lot of time outside of the United States. I'm not in the United States right now. I am in Mexico, and I went to college in Mexico, and I also went to college in South America, and then I lived in South America later, and I opened up a business in South America, and I teach, all over Central America as well. So I can totally understand what she's talking about. She talks about earth and the importance of earth, the ground. And that is also very much part of my understanding of what is important in terms of balancing all of the elements of the world. And so she talks about playing in the earth. And when she was a child in Africa, they would make mounds of dirt and add water and play in the earth. And she says, for me, ritual constitutes a way of living life wholly. Holy, Wholly. It is a way of connecting with spirit and with other people's spirits. It is also a way of celebrating, praising, healing, blessing our lives. Many people feel ritual as something they do not know what to do with, or they think it's something so far away that they do not connect to it. For me, however, ritual seems as essential to the soul as food is to the physical body. My ritual practice is determined by what's going on in my life. Living in the West, I have found it important to do ritual that connects me to the earth. All the political, missionary, and other misplaced attachments to religion and spirituality in a Western context make it easy to become disconnected from self, spirit, and life altogether. So I have found it helpful to go outside in nature, barefooted, or to lie down on the ground and call out to spirit. Gardening, which I see as a form of prayer, has served as a way for me to stay in touch with the earth and its vibrations around me, and that has helped me not to go crazy. I then touch the earth to feel it and to take its healing and grounding energy. So the other thing she talks about is in the West, how at one point she realized she wasn't even living on the ground floor. And so you're more and more um, away from being grounded. And to me, grounding is something that is essential. And I understand that as part of my nature, I need to be grounded as much as possible. So I love what she talks about in this book as well. And gardening or weeding, I'm not a good gardener, but I love weeding, and weeding has always been a form of meditation for me. And I don't use gloves. I like getting my hands dirty, and again, I feel connected to the earth. I just wanted to share my thoughts about rituals because I do think that they are very important to add to your life. Rituals that will help calm you and help nourish you, body, mind, and soul.